Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew with Family's Everything.
Until it's not. It's reunion
Thank
episode
God.
1. And Angie K said she went from the bench warming bitch to the first seat.
Do you know what
Ooh,
that's from?
Angie. Yeah.
What
What's
a
it
bench
from?
warming bitch.
No, what's that from?
Jen Shaw said that to her.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I figured as much. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
she's
she
her
was like,
backup
Angie,
dancer.
you shut up, you bench warming bitch."
Well, that's why she said to the first seat.
Yeah,
She looked the best. Who was your favorite look? Oh, you don't care. I
I don't
thought
really care
Angie
that
looked the
much.
best.
My highlight of the reunion was that around the same day that it aired, I found out, and this is us telling our viewers, whether you watch us or just listen, that we will have at some point in the future a guest with us because my sister and aunt's niece has officially started season 2 of
Of
Salt Lake
Salt Lake
City, and
City.
she will eventually catch up. And when
Yeah.
she does, we will have to bring her on for a special episode to give us her take as a far more normal, less psychotic,
Oh,
less dramatic,
and not
less
only that, but
crazy.
she doesn't watch Housewives.
Yeah, but also she's a lot more intact, probably. She's not as cracked as maybe Aunt and I are. And I
No,
say it's a good thing.
she's very level. We're a
Level.
little erratic at
Yeah.
times, and we're a little
So
high
it'll be
strung.
interesting.
We're a little high strung. She's much more level.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
So,
that's what she is. She is the next time you're in a plane, you have
mhm.
to take a picture. Just go to 17C. Take a
Oh
picture.
yeah, I saw
You
that. I
fly
love
way more
that.
than me.
I
Go to
love that she said,
17C.
I love that
Actually,
she
if you
said,
book coach,
yeah.
book 17C and post it.
I mean, it would have to be a personal trip for me, and it would have to be like not planned because I try not to fly coach.
No, me
It doesn't
either.
mean that I won't.
I'll do the first class one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's
Unless
gonna
it's
be hard for
JetBlue,
me.
which isn't my favorite.
I tend to, unless it's a last minute, even for work, if it's last minute, I'll do extra space.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's
if you ever find yourself in a coach position, anybody, actually, not just you, anybody who's out there listening to us right now, next time you're on a plane, go to 17C and take a picture and send it to us on Instagram at Aunt and Andrew.
yeah,
I
please. We
want
would love
that,
that.
please,
We would
forever and ever
absolutely
and
love
ever.
that.
Do you think Bronwyn had some weird work done to her face, or was it just makeup? She
It
didn't look
looked
like the
weird.
same
It
person.
did.
Yeah, it was like she had her a tighten.
It was like Brandy Glanville in a way.
There was something funky going on in her face, and nobody said it, and nobody should. You never really should address other people's
Well,
work.
Meredith always looks like something's going wrong.
Yeah,
She
but
always looks a
Meredith
little
looks
angry.
great.
She
Meredith was
does.
very she was quiet.
She was. She tends to be at reunions until she's not.
Yeah.
I think she was also a little worried. I think this is the first time, at least in a while, that Seth was there in person.
Oh. Yeah, well, they were all there.
Yeah, and also after their finale, what is Whitney Rose gonna pull out? And Seth's there. So I think Meredith was nervous about like what was gonna be brought up about her
Oh, what's going to be
marriage.
said next? I enjoyed this, but I think Bronwyn gets too much airtime.
I think that like we need to just like Lisa Barlow though, like Lisa, like God, I knew you were emotional and like that it was like so hard for you, but like
It was over
and
the
maybe it
top.
was Bravo that edited it this way and just didn't say it clearly. Like, could we just have got the words out, which was, I understand, like, first and foremost, this wasn't gonna be like this wasn't really meant to air. Bronwyn shared it to try to be vague and thought like she could show a
Totally.
photo,
Yeah,
and then Lisa knew who was in the
totally.
photo.
You're right.
So like this was not planned. This was not like this was and that's the issue I have with Bronwyn and Todd is that I'm like, wait a minute, Todd. If Lisa Barlow, now what hasn't been said, which I'm surprised, I just thought of this. Why hasn't someone said you got Sean going the distance on people? Did you go like what about old school Jersey with Louis and the whole cast? Did he
Right.
go, did he go the distance on the new cast members before they came on the show? So you knew who Gwen's or Gwendolyn Who
Oh, so you
Gwendolyn's.
think there might have been some investigation going on beforehand?
I don't think that's true because we saw Lisa's reaction to the whole thing. But
Yeah, I
what I'm
don't think
saying is,
so
I'm
either.
surprised
Right.
that someone hasn't gone there,
Oh, yeah,
is what
that's
I'm
true.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and that's what leads me to be upset with Todd. I don't
Mm.
like the guy, I never
I
will.
don't like Todd at all. I do not
Now,
like Todd.
now let
Sorry,
me tell you
Todd. Don't
something.
like you.
Now let
Not
me tell
my
you
cup of
something.
tea.
I know what I need if I can't sleep at night. I just need John Barlow on repeat going, watch your tone, watch your tone, watch your tone, watch your tone. And I'd sleep away and be like, oh, John Barlow, watch my tone. Daddy John. Oh my God. I could listen to it on repeat. That manly man be like, watch your tone, protecting his wife. It was so hot. I was
It
like, where's
was-
that? It was so subtle. It wasn't dramatic. It was so sexy. I was like, I
Does any
was
other
like
series
panting.
does any other series have as many husbands except I guess New Jersey everybody has one, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's single in New
Not like
Jersey.
Beverly Hills where everyone is single
Every
except
single
Jeff.
one is single. Everybody's
Um,
single in
yeah.
Beverly Hills, except I think Tilly. I
No,
think
who did they say was the only one?
Jennifer.
Bose.
Oh,
Bose.
Bose. Yeah, yeah. Well, Jennifer Tilly's been with her guy for 18 years too.
Yeah, which they didn't say her.
I
And
know,
I was
which was
waiting for her to
weird.
speak up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
know.
nobody technically married though on Beverly Hills. This is a very married cast.
Oh, you're right.
Jersey's a married cast. New York, Aaron. Yeah, it's half and half in New York for
Yeah.
housewives. I like when the housewives are married. I like when the housewives have husbands. I like when the housewives have husbands who get involved.
I like when the housewives who have husbands that get involved or that don't get involved get divorced. And I love when they then find someone new and bring them on the show. And
No,
yeah,
I haven't liked any new husbands.
I mean, Louis brought a good amount of drama.
No, I prefer Juicy though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I prefer Juicy. I ain't
Oh, I like
Juicy's.
Eddie Judge over Simon.
Oh, yes, I do. I like Eddie better. Okay, who else has got a second that came along? I can't think.
I don't
Eddie,
know.
who had I never saw Kim Zolciak's.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is that reunions are hard to recap, but they're good to kind of dissect, I think. Mary, I want to know how Mary gets away with saying so little at the reunion.
I don't know. Mary didn't do a lot all season. She really
She did a
didn't.
lot with her own personal life, which blew it all up. And
Yeah.
because she was so much more willing to like actually participate, people were like, wow.
Yeah.
And
I
I think
mean,
that Mary
Mary's
now,
very entertaining, and I loved Mary's outfit too. I
I
do, it
did
did.
too.
Yeah, it was perfect on her.
I think that we saw in the preview that Whitney gets, I wonder why Whitney gets so emotional about Robert Jr. I feel like she's gonna come up with something to try to save her snowflake.
Oh,
Um, and
maybe that.
solidify, and but I am happy to see, listen, Whitney and Mary have had issues, little girl,
Yeah,
for years,
right.
bobblehead, like so much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And if Robert Jr.'s addiction can bring
Mm,
them together because of something Whitney's experienced that's true and that's triggering and like it's real and Mary embraces it, good for them.
good
I
for
will
them.
say one of the
Right.
most heart-wrenching things I saw this week, but I also like made me realize like, okay, like she must be really wonderful, especially as a mom. And we saw that Mary this year, is that one of the Bravo accounts asked Robert Jr. on his Instagram, like he did
Oh, I
like
gotta
I'm
follow
answering
her.
questions or something, and they asked like, something about like, I don't know, like, are you going back on the show anytime soon? And he wrote, we have to ask me mom if that's gonna like it was very proper, me
Oh,
mom. But then
uh,
they said, would you want to? And he goes, if my mom wants me to, I would. And it
oh,
was so
so
wholesome and
yeah,
sweet,
sweet. Then he loves his
but
mom. They are bonded for
it
life.
actually made me like appreciate him more, but also Mary more. It
Mm,
also made me question, and this is not Mary's fault by any means, but I'm sure it's something that she's asked him about, is like, you know, was any of the drug use perpetuated because, or like built up because they're on the show and he didn't want to be on the show? Like, that
yeah.
his life was then public, because we also know that like Robert Sr. didn't want to film. So maybe Robert Jr. felt like he had to film more because if not,
Mm,
Mary was probably at home being like, I don't have anyone, you have to film. And then
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
naturally because of that, Robert Jr., because he was high, wasn't
It
able to
was.
hide the drug addiction, but he felt like, and it's like his love for his mom to like be her family on the show.
There
He
it
did it
was.
for her. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't, and this is what I say, it's like crazy how this stuff works, and I hope it comes out, is like, I don't know if Mary knows this yet, but like, you also need to be grateful for being on a reality show
Yeah.
because if you
Because
didn't
I
have
don't know.
cameras in your house and if
If,
you weren't like needing your son to be
yes.
present and like
Yeah.
maybe Robert Sr. was with you more because there wasn't camera around, we now or cameras around, we now know he didn't want to be on the show
Right.
this year.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe you wouldn't have noticed. You would have noticed, but you might have been more resistant there. I can only imagine that like Robert Jr., as someone who comes from addiction, we crave scenarios. Like the most nervous I ever was with a
Mm.
bag of cocaine on me was at my mother's house.
Well, you should be.
It
It's
wasn't when I
disgusting that
was
you took cocaine into
okay,
your mother's
thanks.
house.
I'm an addict. Like, thanks,
I
yeah.
know, but I would have
But my
told you
point
that
is that why?
then.
Because that was the place that it was the most taboo. That was the place
Of
that it was the
course.
hardest. That was also the person that I have the least ability to fool.
Yes.
My mother. She knows
Uh,
me the best.
Of course.
So I can only imagine Robert Jr.'s feelings. He probably and again, it worked out great. Like, and I think I give Mary credit because she could have had resentment towards Bravo to be like, if it wasn't because of the show, like, and she really didn't. And you can just tell that, like, he sees it, he gets the assignment, and he understands that, like, as hard as this is, it's kind of like how I used social media in my sobriety.
Mm.
I hope Robert is picking up all of this public attention and using it as a wall between him and substance. Because
Okay.
trust me, like the same way that I made sure the world knew that I was sober and I let shame kind of be a
Um,
cloud over me,
yes.
it
Right.
helped me exponentially because the one thing I feared more than
Y-
having a drink and using drugs was having to go to social media and be like, I relapsed.
Yeah.
And so
Got
I
it. Yeah.
hope
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's put
Yeah.
pressure on him in all
With
the
him.
positive
Yeah.
ways.
Totally. Now another big thing is, unless people watch What Happens Live, they don't know this. But Lisa is 100% right with the necklace. Bronwyn never bought the necklace, and
Oh
she
yeah.
talked about it on Watch What Happens Live. She's never bought that necklace.
And
It
it
was
shows.
all a show, and it's kind of comical because they go on to each other about, well, you don't really have a G-Wagon, you don't really have this, you don't really have that, you don't really have this. But she's kind of like escaped a little bit over the necklace because she made it out on the reunion like, well, I have the receipts, and I debated about
That's what I was gonna
wearing
say.
it.
Where's Andy Cohen? Like, okay, we talk about how Washington's corrupt. Andy, you're becoming the corrupt judge of the reunions these days. Where are you being like, wait a minute, Bronwyn? I just asked you about the necklace and you said that you wanted to wear it to clear it up today. So did you just lie to me?
Yeah. I mean, that was the
Because
thing.
I cut your checks, honey.
Yeah,
Like,
because she said one thing on the reunion and then she let it slide and watch what happens live that, oh no, she was in negotiations about it and she ended up that she didn't get it. So she doesn't have it because those jewelers like betrayed her talking to Lisa or whatever. The jeweler talked to Lisa about it because this girl wasn't ever buying it and talking about the necklace. And you know what? I totally understood where the jeweler was coming from. Now, a lot of people were like, well, the jeweler shouldn't go and say that people didn't buy the necklace. But if they thought they were going to be selling a $4 million necklace, this isn't Kay Jeweler's $199 gold chain. We're talking about a $4 million necklace. They were going to make a ton of money on that. And they think they have the order. And then she starts playing games and you realize it's all for the show. And
and
so
then you
then
watch
you,
the show back. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
yes.
it's one of
Mm.
those where like,
She came off looking really, really bad over it. And I hate to say this in a different way, not a malicious, psychological way, but it was either Craig or Bryn that she reminded me of at that time.
I
I'm
just will say
sorry.
this.
I think she's
Lisa's story
gaslights
made
people.
sense.
Yes.
Lisa goes, "You met the jeweler at my event." Like
Yeah.
Lisa or like Lisa knew them before. And let's call it what it is. Like again, the same thing that I say about Bryn in New York. Don't act like, "Oh my God, I'm on like the world hates me now because I lied on television about something really fucking serious." It's like, hey, Bronwyn, you're on a show where like,
It's just a
Teresa, I'm
necklace.
paying in
It's not
cash.
accusing
I'm
people of,
paying in cash. I'm doing
yeah.
this. I'm doing that.
Oh,
Everything
don't
is
pay in
fact
cash.
checked.
Look what happened to
Everything is
poor
fact
Teresa.
checked these days.
Yeah.
Like everything is like don't go on this
Yeah, you
show
can't
and
because
tell lies.
there's too many internet sleuths. And I'm telling you, the people online are so good. They take
I believe it that someone
screenshots.
reached out to Lisa unsolicited. I believe
I do
it.
too. I do believe.
I don't believe
I
I
mean, Lisa
believe
knows
also that
enough
Lisa
people
was
in
like, tell
town.
me more, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure I would. I
but I don't think
totally.
that she started. Who's your mess?
Oh, of the reunion?
Yes.
Andy for not asking the right questions. I don't
I think
know
it was
who's.
Bronwyn. She lied when she
Yeah,
started.
she
Like
did. She
she
lied, and
talked
she
her out of it.
lied on Watch What Happens Live also.
My brightest moment of the reunion, I'm gonna add this in, is
Oh, what was your
Mary
brightest?
giving Heather her when Mary was talking to Heather about how, yeah, you are different, but like basically saying like I see you for who you are. Like it was like a very big moment, I think,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Heather.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
like to see that because Heather's been
Well,
trying for years to gain Mary's approval, and she finally got it in that moment.
okay. Oh, I'm gonna change my mess if it's allowable for the reunion. Todd. Todd's a mess. He
Well,
is a
yeah, but that's in a really
manipulative, controlling man. And I want to tell you, Bronwyn acts completely different when he's around.
yeah.
She's very vindictive to other people when he's around, and she has a she's much more hard with him.
What's the over under that Whitney goes, can you move your dress and stop turning? Like, what's the over under that she actually says it like
Well,
out loud?
they should have
Because if
switched
you
because
watch
she
her
couldn't
eyes
see.
and her body language as Bronwyn's talking to Todd, the whole time Whitney's just like,
She
and you just
can't
watch it, it's so
see.
obvious. So,
Yeah,
anywho, all right, guys,
I'm going to tell you, I am not a fan of Todd and Bronwyn.
same, but she's gonna come back because we're not a fan of them.
Yeah,
That's
oh, they'll be back. Definitely
too
be
much
back.
drama.
Yeah.
Anywho, love you guys. Follow
Bye.
us,
See you
subscribe
next
us,
week.
comment. Bye.